Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how I rizzed my driving instructor into letting me pass. So I hope you enjoy the story time. Let's get into it. Okay, so to start the story, basically, I'm going to give y'all some background on, my feedback from my driving. A lot of my friends say I'm really bad at driving. And parking. I've had friends post my parking on their Snapchat stories because how bad it is. So let's keep that in mind. I think I'm a great driver, but I do know my parking's bad. So, keep that in mind throughout this whole story. So, to start off, before I take the test, you have to go through, a driving class or whatever. And so I decided to do an online one because, I didn't really want to go to a place and, do it. So basically, mine was online, and so as I was doing it, it was this one car ride, I remember doing it. And you're supposed to, actually try to learn driving things, whatever. But this girl I was with was like, hey, all that's on Quizlet. And I was like, oh yeah. So I did the rest of the things on Quizlet. So my whole driving thing was on Quizlet. Didn't matter. And you're supposed to have 40 hours of driving or something like that. I also did not like driving. So maybe I had 10 hours worth of driving. Because I had only driven for I don't know. I drove a little bit and hated it. And didn't care to get my license, but then I was going into junior year and I was like, oh shit, I need a way to get to school. So I did it. And I drove for 2 weeks before I decided to take my test and tried to park and couldn't figure it out, so just pray. And so while you're taking a driving test, if you don't know, you have to know how to parallel park and regular park. So it was a struggle. So anyway, I go to this privately owned place instead of a DMV because DMV people are a lot harder. So tip if you're gonna get yours, go to a private place. And so we drove to another city to do it. It wasn't that far, it was maybe 45 minutes. But so I go to this place and I start taking the test. And well, it went fine. The guy was, so it was a 50-year-old guy, right? And he was my driving instructor, and he gets in the car, and immediately this guy was complimenting my shoes. So I'm wearing these Golden Gooses, which if you don't know is a designer brand of shoes. They're $500 to $800 shoes. And so he's talking about them, and he's also wearing some off-whites, which are another designer brand. And so we're just talking about shoes. And so I already noticed when I'm supposed to be parallel parking, normally you're supposed to know how to do it on your own. You're not supposed to use a backup camera. And he's like, oh yeah, you can use it all. And he's telling me how to do it. And I was like, oh, okay, okay, this works out. So I passed that. And he's like, okay, let's start driving. And so we start driving. And basically, as we start, I'm already messed up. So we're going, and he's like, no, go in this lane. And I didn't. And he just grabbed my wheel and fixed it. And so I knew I wasn't doing well. But he kept talking to me about shoes the whole time. We were talking about how many pairs we have. He's telling me about how he goes to Italy, how he has wife and kids with and we're just talking about shoes. And then he starts, so I tell him where I'm from because obviously I don't live out there. And we're talking about that. And he is glazing the fuck out of where I live, my shoes, he is glazing it. He's telling me about how all these restaurants, how he wants to live there, all this stuff, and how he visits all the time. It is just a lot of things that I was okay, this guy is very nice, definitely really likes me, I guess. And we were having good conversation, and he is just very nice, I guess, but I could tell I wasn't driving that well. But he's still glazing. He's like, oh yeah, you know how to drive, and I know that because you're from this place. Anyone from that place is an amazing driver. Keep in mind, where I live, people are shit drivers. I'm not gonna lie to you. But he's like, oh yep, you are great, I know it. And so basically, I go to park, and remember how I said I cannot park. I don't know how to park, and so there's spots, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is gonna be where I fail. And so I go into the spot, and I'm like, hey, can I park in this handicap spot? Because it was the easiest spot, and I have a handicap sticker on me. And he's like, yeah, sure. Because I was like, oh, my dad's inside, he's handicapped, can we do that? And basically, he lets me, whatever. And you know, it was good. I parked in there. It was like kind of shitty parking, and he tells me, he's like, you can look in the mirror or like window, because there was a window in front of us. And he's like, and just park like due to that, and it will like be good. Like you'll be good. And so I do that, and I'm like looking in it trying to park. And he's like, you know, you passed with 100. Like all your colleges are gonna see this. You are an amazing driver. Like hyping me up. Gave me a fucking 100 on this test. I should not have passed. I was like, oh, okay, like, just because we were talking about shoes in my city the entire time. That was it. Bro just liked talking to me, I guess, and decided to pass me. And so keep in mind, to this day, I still can't park. A year after, like for the first year after I got my license, I had to park in like any of those ones that you can pull straight in, because I could not park to save my life. And still to this day, when I go to like do whatever, park anywhere, it takes me forever to park. So maybe, just saying, if you're getting your driver's license, I mean, just, you know, try to know how to drive first, try to park first. Also, try to learn the driving laws or whatever, because maybe I didn't and got my license, but you know, you should. So, anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you like and subscribe. And I hope you come back for more videos. Thanks. Goodbye.